Oh, seven commanders. My name's Commander Will Furian, leader of the Vortex Squadron. Today, on the Galactic Vibes, we're going to talk about the latest community goal. Two of them, but there are one in particular I'm interested in, and that is the opener power play community goal going on in the galaxy right now. Let's just jump right in. Alrighty, commanders, welcome back to Galactic Vibes. There's been a community goal going on since last Thursday-ish, and it's going on yet another week. So last Thursday. This is December 5th, so it would have been like November 29th, 30th, wherever, somewhere in there. But so now what I want to talk about today is that there's mass confusion, okay? There's a lot of things wrong with the CG, the way it was planned, if it was planned, and how it's working and how the community is reacting to it, because it's really crazy. So and forgive me now because I'm not super thrilled. I'm going to try to do this as calmly as possible, but I'm not really excited about this event, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that feel that same way. Give me a like if you're not as thrilled with this event as we thought we should be. So from a community perspective, accessibility perspective, and things like that, I want to talk a little bit about what this event entails. So we have a new flora in the galaxy called Radica unica, or Radicoida unica. Sorry, I just call it roids now because it's too long of a dang name. Okay, so yeah, we got these roids, and they have a special property to them. We don't know what this property is. But basically, they told us, okay, guys, look, and I'm paraphrasing here. Look, we're gonna go scrap it out with each other because we want control of this, and we don't even know why we want control of it. But let's just be in control of it, okay? Because that's what we need to do. And now, not only that, but instead of making an actual power play thing, they have kind of a hybrid power play thing, which originally started out as they told us to find these little blue crosshairs that were on the map near HIP 87621, and those were your targets. So you go, and we're like, yeah, ooh, yeah, fight. We're like, okay, whatever, because we like to fight. So we go over there, we find them. Well, then you run into the first problem. When you get, since there's 12 powers involved, there's really only supposed to be 3 groups, right? Or 4 groups, sorry. There's supposed to be Alliance, Federation, Independent, and Imperial, okay? You got all those together, right? Now, so that kind of teams us up. So we're supposed to be teamed up with these other power play, which would be called a major power. The superpowers are the 4 I mentioned. Then there's major powers, which are the power play powers, basically. And they all represent one of those superpowers. So we're like, okay, cool. We go over there, and the first thing is that when you search for a signal source, or a point of interest, is where these conflict zones are. The conflict zones, you have to literally highlight each one, and then make sure that the power play, or that the power that you signed up for in the event, is also in that CG, or else you won't be able to get merits. Now, we like merits. We go after merits. So we're like, okay, we'll go after the merits because we don't really care about money, right? So we'll go after the merits. So you have to highlight each one on the list, and then you have to, in some cases, it just tells you that it's, Liang Ru versus Arissa Lavingi Duvall, and we're like, oh yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, Arissa's in there. We're gonna go get her. So you fly over there and you go get her and you fight, and the competition is very long. So sometimes instances like this are, more intense or less intense. These are very lengthy. So even with a squad of 4, just a regular squad of 4, I'm not talking about the top 1% here, guys. I'm talking about regular people. It takes roughly around an hour to finish one of these, which is great, except that's a long time. Most events, the instances are much shorter. So, we're like 15 minutes around for, 30 minutes around if you're a solo, stuff like that. But right now, it's not like that at all. Also, we can't assist any of the other powers that are in our super group, which is silly. We should be able to support the super groups, but we can't do that. So basically, when you're in a system, you have to look at each individual point of interest to see if that's a good instance for you, right? Now, sometimes that doesn't work. So then you know what you have to do. You either have to you can sometimes you have to scan the nav beacon, because if the points of interest are too far away, sometimes they don't show up or whatever. Just make sure everything shows up. You go scan the nav beacon. Then on top of that, then sometimes even then, the names of who's in the point of interest do not show up, and you have to literally fly out there to that point of interest and get in it, and to see who's there, and see if there's a green side and a red side, or depending on your color, your HUD. But it's basically, there's green guys are good, red guys are bad. You kill the red guys. Okay, I'm simplifying these things. I understand it, Commander. Just bear with me. I'm trying to make this as non-confusing as possible, because I am confused. So first, day 1, no problem. We go out, we just barrel through, we kill everything that moves. Great. Next day we come back, some of the targets have moved. Great. We attack those targets, so we're going strong. Then, like, I think it was day 3. All of a sudden now there's red caution symbols. We're like, well, what the hell's that? And they're like, well, you have to undermine. You have to fortify or stronghold them. And I'm like, well, why? I don't understand that. That's not what, you know what I mean? So then we're confused, and we're like, well, okay, what's going on there? Okay. So that happened, and we're like, okay, so we don't want to do that part, because we like just doing CGs. So our conflict zones, right? Power conflict zones. So we just continue to do that. And then all of a sudden there's some hubbub going on around, well, now nobody's going to be able to hold on to their systems because they're not reinforcing them. Well, we didn't really, in my, opinion, we weren't really told this, or, that really wasn't an option at the day 1. So we didn't know. I mean, a lot of players, especially the competitive ones, when you say something's competitive, the competitive players are going to come out of the woodwork and just kill everything that moves. So you can't be screwing around. You got to have a plan, okay? Especially with competition. So then day 3 comes around. Now we got to reinforce or whatever, and we're like, yeah, whatever. I don't even. So you look at the list of things you can do to reinforce, and they're all like, they're not things we do. If it's not a perpetual CG or whatever, we don't care. We don't want to do that. So we just go right back to firing at the blue targets. So there was some confusion there. The main confusion is finding the areas to go do your stuff, okay? Especially the fighting part, because we thought this was a war type event. Not, I don't care. I got a message from somebody told me just to take bio waste or waste and deliver it somewhere, and then buy it back and re-deliver it somewhere. And I'm going, why do people do that? It's because they're confused, all right? Because they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So they find the most cheesiest, easiest thing to do, and they start doing that. So the smaller groups, maybe they do that. I don't know. Maybe Ashling does that. I don't know. Now, here's the rub. So we get to day, what is it now? Thursday, let's see, a week away, day 7. We come in, and all of a sudden it's predicted that Ashling is going to win the CG, which makes sense because she's probably the largest group, and there's a reason for that, because she's got nice feet, is what I hear. Just saying. She's also the youngest one. She's got the blue hair. She's perfect, right? So we fight for the emperor. Now, if according to some stuff that came out, if whoever wins the war is going to get a special power play module for the winning power play. But I'm thinking, well, why is it for the power play when we're fighting for the superpowers? I don't understand that. This is another thing that's not really working for me. You can't help your buddies, and then you have to. And we already know who's going to win, or we're predicting that, right? Somebody is, not me particularly. And then, so now what they just reintroduced to the game, if they do that, is they're going to have power switching, right? So, because everybody's going to go join the winning side and just get the 75%. That's all they're going to do. Okay, I'm telling you, that's the way it works. That's the way it's always. We're greedy little commanders. We're going to go in there. We're going to win this thing. Now, you could say, oh, but the role play, whatever. Nobody cares about that in a competitive setting. It just doesn't matter. That's what happens to all competitive settings. Everybody joins the team, the winning team. We're all going to join the winning team. Yahoo! The blue hair is going to take over the entire galaxy now. So I don't know. I don't know what the final outcome is, Commanders. And it's still, we're only a weekend. We got a whole week to go. We're very demotivated at this point. We've killed a lot of stuff, and the Vortex Squadron. Not necessarily talking about any other players. If you are also kind of demotivated, please leave a comment in the comments below. Hey, if you're having the greatest time of your life and you're fighting for Aisling, whatever the hell her name is, blue-haired lady, you just let me know how amazing it is to be part of the winning team. All right? So that's a thing. And, so all I'm saying is this thing was not well planned, was not well put together. There was so much confusion at the beginning. And if they really wanted to do that, God, they should have just put the Thargoids back in for a weekend. I mean, or a couple of weeks. That would have been better. At least then we knew who our enemy was and we knew how to find them. They had little icons all over where you could find at towards the end. Okay, at the beginning it was a little bit tougher, but basically this is kind of a hybrid power play Thargoid mashup thing, and they did not spend enough time on it, and it's gonna end the year on a kind of a downer, because they only got about one more week of programming, major programming time before they all go on hiatus. Okay, so. This is not, in my opinion, this is not a great ending to the year. I'm not excited about it. I'm even less excited about it now. Now there is an exobiology event also going on. All you have to do is pick up one, or scan one plant that you haven't scanned before or whatever, and turn it into some place. You can look all that up. The link to the excuse me. The link to the community goals will be in the description below the video. So, and that's kind of where I'm at. So on another note, this ship, the Caspian Explorer, oh my gosh, we are having so much fun with that thing. It is a great combat ship. And yes, it is heavily weighted towards exploration, but it also fights, which I knew it would because the Mandalay does. So I knew this was going to be awesome. It flies really smooth. The only downside I've really seen for as far as combat is when you go flight assist off, it reacts better if you're moving when you go into flight assist off. If you're sitting still, it doesn't really seem to do as much for you as far as turning, because my group uses flight assist off for turning only. We don't use it for much else. So for the fast turns, right? So as long as you're boosting while you're turning, it does fairly well. If you're not, it seems really slow. So I'm not sure if that's an adjustment or if that's how it's going to be. But either way, other than that, it does great. It's got the perfect number of hard points to do a lot of stuff that we AX pilots know how to do. And because even though threes are better, we'd love to have a bunch of threes on this thing, or larges, depending on how you look at it. Then, but twos will do do the business. However, most things that are in a size 2, unless they're pre-engineered, have not enough ammo, and the ammo it just runs out very quickly. So for this event, I don't recommend any ammo because it's just too the instance is too long. The power play conflict zone is too long for it, and it will run you out of ammo very quickly, and then you have to kind of jump out of the instance, go reload, unless you're into synthesizing, which none of my guys are. We don't really do synthesizing. You know, we came up in a time when there was no such thing, so we don't really like wasting our precious materials on synthesizing bullets when we can be using that to build a bigger ship. So in any event, I don't know how the event's going to go. I'm just giving you the galactic vibes, guys, telling you what the galaxy, my area of the galaxy, and a lot of people on Reddit, because I read the Reddit. I don't necessarily read the forums, but I'll read the Reddit. And yeah, there's a lot of confusion. It was very, very weakly planned. It was not good. This was not a good end of the year event. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't hurt anybody's feelers. I'm just being honest. Commanders, we will talk to you next time.